Hello, everyone.
Okay, I think we have most of the attendees here, so I probably can start now. Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending this webinar. We have a very exciting program to share with you. So before we start, I'd like to share with you the agenda for the day, so you sort of know what's going to happen later on. So at the start, we'll be sharing about the high-level details of the program. So that's the first two rows that you see here. And then after that, we'll be deep diving into the 5 tracks that makes up the program. And then after that, we have a sharing by USME, followed by a Q&A session. So if you have any questions at all, please use the Q&A box. It's at the bottom of the Zoom screen. So that's a Q&A box. Whatever you type there, we'll be able to receive, and we'll address that at the end of the program. And then that's not all at all. So at the end of that, if you want a deep dive, so we have 5 tracks, right? Let's say you're interested in digital marketing. What you can do is we'll share breakout rooms. So there's 4 separate rooms. Track 1 and track 2 will have 1 room. Track 3, 4, 5 will have 3 individual rooms. You can then click on those rooms and join for a deeper conversation on those 5 tracks. So that's the program for today. So let me just introduce the first speaker. So for the first part, we'll have NTC Learning Hub introducing us the program. So for those of you who do not know NTC Learning Hub, let me give you some introduction. So NTC Learning Hub is one of the social enterprises under NTUC. We provide learning that transforms employability and creates a better life for working people of all colors, ages, and nationalities. So from the 1960s till the present day, the labor movement has journeyed by the side of our working people while playing a part in nation building. So here we have with us today is Mr. Anthony Chu, who is the director of NTC Learning Hub. Mr. Anthony Chu, please.
Hey, thank you. Isa, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony from NTUC Learning Hub. And on behalf of my partners for this project, we have FinLab, powered by UOB, Ngee Ann Polytechnic, and USME. And we are delighted to welcome all of you to our inaugural SME Digital Reboot webinar. Digitization might be, like good to have during pre-COVID period, but all of you know that during this time, digitization is really a must-have for companies who really want to stay in business. Now, the last few months has been very challenging for a lot of companies, even for a lot of the individuals. The days ahead could possibly be even more challenging. Thus, we are here to share with you a program that we personally are very convinced that we can provide technology support to help your business to emerge stronger, right? So this digital reboot is a collaboration among the 4 entities, which I shared with you just now, Learning Hub, UOB, Ngee Ann Polytechnic, and USME. You'll be wondering, like, it's just a program, why are there so many parties involved, right? Well, because the problem that we are trying to solve is really multifaceted. We really need a real solution, not just a solution that looks conceptually good on paper. So I must say that I'm really indeed happy with this collaboration. Why am I happy? Because I think all our goals, right, all these partners' goals, it's really aligned, and in aligned in supporting all the SMEs. I'm happy because we're able to complement each other, synergize with each other, and found a sound solution. And actually most happy because we can bring this solution faster to all of you. So once again, thank you for joining us. And let me now introduce you to the Digital Reboot program. So as I shared with you earlier, so this Digital Reboot program is brought to you by NTUC Learning Hub, FinLab, powered by UOB, Ngee Ann Polytechnic, and USME. The Digital Reboot program aims to help companies digitize their business operations in 5 areas: communication and collaboration, So that's really the suite of Google products. eForm and Flow, which is Power Automate, robotic process automation, data visualization, digital marketing. So these technologies are specially curated for SMEs for fast deployment. Like how long? Well, it's really deployment in a few days to a few weeks. And what do you get? You get a playbook of use cases. Playbook is like, a user manual where we share how these technologies can be quickly deployed in areas, in the work areas, so that you can achieve the ROI quickly. So in it, we have step-by-step instruction plus videos. We have hands-on training, about 2.5 days to 3 days, depending on the track that you do. Now, what's attractive is that there will be a paid 1-year software license or licenses, depending on what tracks you take, and deployment of playbook use cases. I'm going to share all these a little bit with you in more detail shortly. Now, why do we do this project? Well, we know that many companies, right? They know the why. Oh, okay, I understand that I have to digitize my business so that my company can be really in business. But actually, many still struggle to get started. So these are the questions that they have, right? What are the available technologies? Which technologies to adopt? Because there's so many out there. The technologies are not affordable. And Anthony, don't introduce me all these. It's going to cost millions of dollars or thousands after thousands of dollars. Which areas can we deploy these technologies? Again, I'm not too strong in all these technologies. So which areas? And okay, I send my staff for training, but some of my staff are not tech savvy. Then after coming back from training, they may still be lost in trying to deploy these technologies. So it's actually, of no use to send them for training in the first place. And where do I start? So with all these pain points, so this become our motivation, this become our design challenge. Together, we try to solve whether we can find a solution that can solve these issues. Yeah. So I'm going to share with you about the program. So the program starts with 2.5 or 3 days. 4 of the programs are 2.5 days, and the RPA one is a 3-day program. It's through virtual live class or face-to-face, depending on the program that you choose. And we have, after the program, immediately we will provide a deployment team to help you deploy these technologies into the workplace. Implement this. So we will provide 24 man-hours spread across 8 weeks so that you can select some of these technologies and deploy them into the work areas. Remember just now I shared with you about the use case, the playbook. We will provide you 10 use cases so that at least that gives you an idea where these technologies can be deployed on. Okay, so this is how the program structure look like. So before the day one, we will provide you e-learning so that you are at least able to understand these 5 domains of digitalization about customer, competition, data, innovation, and value. And if you look at day one and those highlighted, we are going to use the playbook. And you see the playbook, what does it have? For example, the use case for, in this case, the digital marketing. Use case number 1 is, how do I set up an online presence? Use case number 2, how do I monitor and track user behavior on your website, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go through all these with the participants so that they at least understand how these technologies can be leveraged, can be exploited to its fullest, and to be deployed into the workplace. So that finished the 2.5 days. And what's most important, after that 2.5 days, you have the participants will have all these 10 use cases. So we will send a deployment team. This deployment team will be a staff from Ngee Polytechnic, they're the lecturers, accompanied by an ICT graduate from Ngee Polytechnic. So these 2 persons will work with you over these 8 weeks and help you to deploy these technologies based on the use cases that you choose. Now, say for example, if there are 10 use cases and you have chosen 4, what we also hope to do is to make you fishermen, right? So not just to deploy all these technologies on your behalf, but we like to equip all the staff or the participants with the skills so that they can DIY and implement the other use cases after these consultation is completed. Now, what do you need to commit? You just need to select one track. Now, so after you have selected one track, we need you to commit 5 staff for the training based on the track. Now, for 4 of the track, each participants will cost you about $3,000. So it will be $15,000 for 5 person. But with SSG funding, you only need to pay $1,500 before GST. And on top of that, you can claim absentee payroll for 5 packs. That is equivalent to 1,650. So if you look at 1,005 versus 1,650, there's really a net gain in terms of your return on investment for training. Right now, we are working with SSG to apply for enhanced absentee payroll, whereby companies can get $10 per hour. So this is work in progress. And we believe that by the time you sign up for the course, this is already in place. Yeah. Now, we said earlier all these pain points. So what are the technologies available? Which technologies to adopt? Really, we have curated 5 technologies which are relevant, and so that you can achieve quick wins. Which areas can we deploy? We provide you with playbook with 10 use cases. Who can help us to deploy? The deployment team consisting of Ngee Ann Polytechnic staff and ICT graduate. The technologies are not affordable. You can see that we have bundled it, right? And in fact, you will have net gain with all this. So it's really making this very affordable to all of you. So in summary, what's our value proposition? This is really an end-to-end solution from training to deployment. And I just wanted to repeat, deployment is the most important thing for this program, right? And we have curated all these technologies that are really relevant and easily deployable. And all these software licenses and deployment team are bundled with training, which are really heavily subsidized. Honestly, I've been with Learning Hub for 10 years, and there's actually no such program in the market. So this is first of its kind, and really hoping you to seize this opportunity to find out more and see whether these technologies is something that you really want to implement. This is my last slide. Today, 30th, you are having this digital reboot webinar organized by 4 of us, 4 partners. And for some of you who are still figuring out what track should I do? So we have this SME info session. This is optional. What we'll do is there'll be a business model canvas exercise to ascertain which technology to select. This is to be done by the FinLab UOB. And assuming that you have already know what you want to do, so you select the pillars to train. And 2 of the pillars are to be trained by Ngee Ann Poly, and Learning Hub is doing 3 pillars. Yeah. And after that, after you have selected, you go for the respective training. And number 5, now we have provided you 10 use cases. Then you need to decide what are the use cases that you want the deployment team to deploy for you and with you. Yeah. And number 6, then we will implement these use cases. Now, because this scheme is really heavily funded, Learning Hub will work with you to ensure that you have good ROI, and we will do this outcome report tracking with you. So with that, Isa, I pass back the time to you.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Next, we have FinLab, which is one of the program partners. So as the Innovation Accelerator of United Overseas Bank, or UOB, the FinLab has been helping SME owners digitalize and transform their businesses since 2018. We have Ms. Pauline Sim, the co-head of the FinLab and also Senior Vice President in UOB's FinTech ecosystem and innovation team, to share more about how the FinLab Online can support your company's growth and ambition. Ms. Pauline, please.
Thanks, Isa. I hope everyone can hear me and see my screen.
Yeah,
right, so, clear, yeah. Okay, great. So thanks everyone for joining the session. And as what Anthony shared, the 4 partners, we're very excited to bring this program to you. And it's one of a kind because it really covers end-to-end, from sharing about areas of technology to actually helping you to implement these technologies into your companies. So I'm here to share about the FinLab Online and what we do. A little bit about who we are. We are actually part of UOB and have been the innovation accelerator of UOB since 2016. When we started in 2016, we were helping tech startups in the region to scale and grow. And then in 2018, seeing that there is a huge demand in the region for Industry 4.0 and digitalization, we expanded the program to help SMEs like yourself to adopt digital tools in order to transform your business and to capture the opportunities that's growing in the region. And then in 2019, we brought the program to Malaysia and Thailand as well, helping the Malaysia and Thailand SMEs. And in doing so, also bringing together the regional SMEs and enabling them to network and tap on the knowledge and expertise of the communities in the 3 countries. And then this year, in wanting to help many more SMEs to adopt digital and using the learnings that we have had in the past 2 years working with SMEs, we launched the FinLab Online. So I'll share more about the FinLab Online with you. So in all, we have reached more than 2,000 SMEs, and this will be from the 3 countries. And in terms of tech solutions, we have seen more than 1,005 from 48 countries in the past years that we have been operating. So in the past 2 years, working with the SMEs, deep diving with each one of them, looking at their problem statements, helping them to match with relevant solutions. These are the happy faces of the SME participants that have joined the FinLab program in Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. In each of the country, we always work with the local partners. So in Thailand, we work with the local government agencies. In Malaysia, the local government agencies as well as association. And in Singapore, a partnership like this one is an example of how we work with the partners to support the cause of SME digitalization. So you're wondering, okay, so where do I interface with the FinLab? Actually, when you sign up for this info session, you will also have received an email from us inviting you to take this DNA test. We conveniently named it DNA because it's very catchy, but actually it stands for Digital Needs Assessment. And what this does is really to work you through the different use cases. Anthony shared some of the use cases. So we presented in the quiz to you the different use cases and asked you to evaluate the level of impact this use case will bring to your business if you were to digitalize it. And then at the end of the quiz, you would have seen this screen on the right, which tells you the weightage of each of the pillars. So every use case goes into one of the 5 pillars. And then the pillar will tell you how much impact this pillar will deliver to your business if you were to digitalize it. So in doing so, if you do this DNA test, you would have also be able to prioritize the pillars that you might want to focus on. So if you are SME coming to this session and wondering how do you start and which area should you be sending your staff to train in, this will be a guide for you to think about the pillars, right? And so if you have not done the DNA test yet, we are sharing this link on the chat. So if you haven't done it yet and you'd like to do it, you can actually click on the link that we'll be sharing in the chat to do the test. It only takes 10 minutes. It's a very fast quiz. So you will have done the test before joining us, before the program, and this is the box on the left. And then of course, it will guide you and lead you into the areas, the different pillars that you can sign up for under our SME Digital Reboot program, which we are sharing today. And then post-program, or even while your staff are being trained, you as a business owner can actually join the FinLab Online and be plugged into the community that we have as the FinLab Online. And here is where you get to connect and network with fellow business owners like yourself that have an ambition to digitalize your business. Because sometimes when you embark on transformation and change, it can be quite lonely when you are trying to figure out things on your own. So the community enables sharing of best practices. And we also have a network of mentors who are domain experts in their respective innovation areas to share with you. And then of course, the FinLab Online is free for any SME or even tech solution to join. And this is what you can stand to gain from joining the FinLab Online community, the access to mentors and experts. And typically we run webinars with our mentors. They will host sharing sessions over live webinars, over recorded videos on different areas that you might encounter and are relevant to your business as you digitalize. And then we also have regular content updates These come in the form of articles or infographics or even videos to guide you along in your journey. And the resources is where, you know, we pull in a lot of useful information out there. And we also have information on the region because we have mentors in Thailand, mentors in Malaysia. So if you are looking at doing digital marketing in Thailand, which is a very different environment than Singapore, then you can potentially listen to our Thai mentor for digital marketing to understand the environment. So we avail these resources to you, as well as tech solutions that are relevant for SMEs to use. And then, of course, earlier I shared on clinics and webinars. Every month we hold an unboxing tech webinar session where we invite innovative tech solutions to showcase their tech for SME users to consider and to see if it will benefit your business. So these are just two examples of two upcoming webinars that we are hosting next week. One will be, as Anthony shared, the business model canvas workshop. So this business model canvas workshop is really for SMEs that want to review your business model. I think, you know, being a SME in Singapore, you might have heard Minister Heng share about the importance of SMEs transforming by reviewing a business model. So this session is a workshop that enables you to identify the gaps and the opportunities in your current business model and helps you to strategize for the future. We will run this as a half-day workshop with you. So do join us if you are keen to do that. And then we also have one of our mentor series, which shares on change leadership, change management and leadership, which is very relevant in such a time as this. And then, of course, last but not least, I'd like to, you know, invite all of you participants because by signing up for this session, actually, you have also automatically been signed up as a member of the FinLab Online, and it's free. So do look out for our sign-up details, and we do look forward to seeing you on the online community. If you want to check us out, this is the QR code to go to our page. And that's all from me. So over to you, Isa.
Right, thanks, Pauline. Okay, so next, now that you have the high-level overview of the whole program, we will now start getting into the details of the 5 tracks that makes up the program. So to introduce the first 2 tracks, we have Ngee Ann Poly. So Ngee Ann Polytechnic is one of Singapore's leading institute of higher learning, established in 1963. As a partner in the SME Digital Reboot initiative, Ngee Ann Polytechnic will look after 2 of the 5 suite of programs. So the 2 are digital collaboration and communication, and the other one is digital marketing. So Ngee Ann Poly will be developing and delivering the curriculum for these 2 courses, as well as providing support to companies in implementing the use cases across the 5 programs, all 5 of them. So today we have with us Mr. Patrice Chung, who is the Director of School of ICT, to introduce the 2 programs. Mr. Patrice Chung, please.
Thank you, Isa. Just do an audio check. Can you hear me
loud and
properly?
clear.
Okay, great. Welcome everyone to the SME Digital Reboot program. It is a program that we are very excited to co-organize with NTUC Learning Hub, NTUC USME, and UOB's the FinLab. And we have great hopes in the program achieving its aim of helping SMEs to digitalize. So first we start with why we started. I think Anthony alluded a bit on why we started the program, and I wanted to highlight 2 things. The first thing is, since the COVID situation has hit us, the way we work has changed. So you can see in the picture, a mother holding her baby while perhaps attending a Zoom meeting for work. And this has become a common sight for the workplace at home. And working from home created several issues, right? Employees need to access files and other resources remotely. Meeting needs to be conducted virtually. Employees need to collaborate virtually. And there are secondary opportunities and challenges. Files, when you need to share them, need to be shared securely. We can leverage more digital tools to automate meeting processes, and we can create and we can leverage data created by these processes. So working from home provided some challenges, but also created other kinds of opportunities. The second thing that changed was the way customers shop has changed. Well, you can see this article from Straits Times. There is a 240% jump in the online purchases by customers. That is a big increase, and it also means a lot to businesses on how we are trying to reach our customers. Now, this change also comes with primary issues, right? That means businesses would need to have an online presence, and indeed, a lot of F&B outlets, leverage on platforms, existing platforms to go online, delivery platforms. Customers need to be able to find your businesses online, your services, the products that you sell, and you need to be able to know how to generate leads online for your customers. All these gives rise to further secondary challenges. You will need to understand how to measure traffic to your website, how to experiment with different marketing approaches, how to track your customer behavior so that you can better target your advertising to different market segments. So we understand the change, and we understand what the change implies for the businesses. Then how? So this is where SME Digital Reboot comes in, and specifically I'm going to talk about two packages that Nian Paul is offering here. Addressing the way we work has changed, addressing this particular change, we are offering the first package, which is a digital communications and collaboration package, where we are bundling a lot of Google's suite of tools to enable this. So the itinerary, I think, actually has went through it. So there will be some pre-learning, self-learning online. That's to talk about a little bit of the digital mindset. There will be a in-classroom or via Zoom training where we go through the tools and the use cases. But most importantly, as what pointed by Pauline and by Anthony, it's all about getting it to work, the implementation, the deployment of work. And this is where, together with our staff and our students, our graduates, we will go on site or via teleconferencing, help you walk through the use cases at your workplace. The 5 domains of digitalization that we'll touch on. So there are 5 domains: innovation, data, competition, customer, and value. We won't talk a little bit much today, but these are the 5 broad areas that is experiencing digitalization and extracting value of digitalization. So I'll briefly go through the use cases. For this package, there will be 10 use cases. On day 1, we will go through 4 use cases, which is the basic of storing and retrieving files on the cloud, securing files and sharing files securely on the cloud, creating and editing documents collaboratively with authoring tracks so that you know who has edited what, encrypting and protecting a file on the cloud, scheduling an online meeting, broadcast a presentation online to maybe an audience of thousands, how to collaboratively use digital whiteboards, creating an online survey with basic statistical analysis, creating an online dashboard using Google Sheet, automatically rendering your Google Sheet into a dashboard. And the last one is a little bit more complicated, but I thought it was quite a good wrap-up, which is how to create a simple Google chatbot as an assistant to your meetings. So these are 10 use cases that we'll be going through the digital collaboration and communication suite. We'll be using primarily G Suite suite of tools. I think the cherry on the cake is that all this training, the user manuals, the playbooks, and the software licenses is all bundled together in this particular package. And for the second one, what we'll be doing is we will be addressing the way customers shop. It has changed, how the way customers shop has changed and how it impacts our business. And to do that, we package the digital marketing offer. The itinerary is the same, so I won't go through that. The use cases, it will be a bit different. So I think Anthony briefly went through that again just now. So
the first use case, which is a must today, is how to set up an online presence. How to
give your business a website, a presence on social media, a presence on, and how to get yourself discovered online. The second use case will be, we'll be showing you guys how to monitor and track user behaviors on your website. So when somebody goes to your website, you will be able to know exactly which part of the website he has browsed, which part he has clicked on, where did he scrolled, which text he has highlighted. So what are the technologies behind it? How do we use these tracking behaviors to better target your customers? We'll show you how to measure traffic to your website and how to get discovered through effective search engine optimization. On day 2, we'll be, for those who are in the B2C space, we'll be showing you how to set up a simple online store on Shopmatic, which is a platform for shops. On use case 6, we'll go through basic Facebook marketing, because a lot of our demography of population in Singapore are on Facebook. 7 and 8 is all about content marketing. So we'll introduce content marketing 7, and we'll show you how to create a simple story for your brand, product, or company using online tools. Number 9, how to generate email leads for your potential customers. And 10 will introduce the concept of marketing funnel and how it fits into the online world. So all these 10 use cases, we'll be using a large array of tools. It could be Wix, Google Analytics, Hotjar, Shopmatic, Facebook Ads, SurveyMonkey, MailChimp, GetResponse. It's going to be a large suite of tools, and a lot of them and the licenses will be provided as part of the course, at least for the first year. So the use cases and the playbook, this is just a sample I'm going to give you. We're going to put it online, but this is going to be a very step-by-step approach to ensuring that all the use cases are being done at your workplace. So in recap, we will be offering 2 bundles, 2 packages, one on digital communications and collaboration, and the other one on digital marketing, to address the 2 changes that COVID has brought to our doorstep. Thank you, and get ready for the digital takeoff.
All right.
Thank you, Isa. Yeah, over to you.
Ken, thanks, Patrice. Yeah, so just to remind everyone, if you have any questions, for example, for Patrice or any one of the panelists, what you can do is you can use the question and answer box that is located at the bottom of your Zoom. So you should see next to the participants and chat, right, at the bottom of the Zoom bar. There's question and answer. You click on that and you can key in your questions. And what we'll do is we'll address those questions at the end of all the presentation so that we can keep it within time. Yeah. So yeah, please ask us questions so that we can answer them later. Okay, great. So we have covered the first 2 tracks, which was digital collaboration and communication and digital marketing. Saw it just now. So now we want to introduce the next 3 tracks. For the next track, which is the process automation track, we have UiPath with us. So UiPath is a global software company that develops a platform for robotic process automation, or RPA in short. UiPath is one of the fastest growing software companies in history. So in 2016, the company had 100 customers, which rose to 700 customers in 2017. In 2019, UiPath crossed 5,000 customers worldwide. So here we have with us today is Mr. Matthew Tan, which is he's the director of pre-sales for Southeast Asia at UiPath. Matthew has more than 20 years of experience in the software industry, with the last 10 years focused on helping companies improve productivity and efficiency through the use of automation. Mr. Matthew Tan, please.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're able to see me and see my screen. My pleasure to introduce process automation, in UiPath's sense, it's going to be robotic process automation. So we develop robots so people don't have to be robots. And I think as I go through my presentation, you'll understand what I mean by that. So I think Anthony mentioned earlier that a lot of companies have tried to digitally transform their business. And after this pandemic hit, I think it's now mandatory for every company, regardless of size, to digitally transform their business. And according to a survey done by The Economist, a survey on advancement of automation. Organizations, 93% of the organization survey say that automation kickstarts digital transformation. Because if you still rely a lot on manual labor, especially around computer-centric processes, chances are it's going to be very hard for you to digitally transform your business. But if you can introduce a level of automation, which is what I will describe today, I think that will eventually help you eliminate a lot of the manual, mundane activities from your people so that they can focus on more higher value activities and activities that we're meant to do as humans, which is the more creative stuff. And what I want to do is really walk you through what RPA is, or what robotic process automation is. Each of us, have a responsibility within our respective companies. We all do meaningful and value creating tasks within our company. However, there's a part of our day where we need to work on those monotonous activities, right? So if you're an accountant, maybe it's part of your day to enter invoices into your financial system, right? As in, look at the physical invoice and enter the data. If you're in supply chain, maybe every time someone delivers spare parts or raw materials to your factory, you need to enter that same information into your warehouse management system. So how do we eliminate a lot of these manual repetitive things that in a way stifle our ability to actually contribute more to the business by focusing a lot on the value creating tasks, like I said? Unfortunately, 20% of our time is wasted again on all these dull, repetitive work. So what we hope to achieve is for those monotonous, repetitive activities that you could have a personal assistant running on your computer that helps you automate a large majority of those, again, manual, repetitive, boring things, especially when it comes to, let's say, data encoding, right? And the way we do this is by, again, creating a software robot that runs on your computer, takes over your computer every time you now need to do that manual and repetitive thing. And since robots are able to execute things like data entry, consolidation of Excel, generation of reports a lot faster than humans, it's going to give you back a lot of time savings, and eventually, again, give you the ability to focus on what we do best, which is value creating stuff, right? And leave all the filling forms, typing, copy and paste to the robots. And that's why I was saying we create robots so that humans do not have to be robots, because we're putting the robot back into the machine to help you with a lot of your day-to-day repetitive things. And again, it's about automating computer-centric processes, right? We're not automating the manufacturing floor. We're not producing robots that will help you build stuff, that will help you serve food, but it's actually a robot that runs on your computer that emulates what you would have done on the computer to accomplish a process. And to better illustrate what robotic process automation can do, I have an example. So let's say I run a business and I receive order forms on a daily basis. So let's say the order form looks like this, what you see here on the left. And I have my customer system. Every time I have a new customer, I'll click on new customer, enter the first name, last name, etc., copying and pasting from this PDF into this particular application. So let's say this would typically take maybe 5 minutes for me to complete, entering the new customer records as well as entering the customer's order. But it takes a robot much shorter time to accomplish the same process. And you see here, basically, this is the robot, right? It's not an actual robot with a head and arms and legs. It's a workflow, right? Because to build robots, what you're doing is you're building workflows. And for each of the steps that you would perform on your computer, there's a specific activity that's inside the workflow. So what I'll do is just quickly run this to show you what an automated process look like? So as you can see there, it's logging into my application. It opened up the PDF that I had, which is the customer order. And now the robot's actually capturing all the information from this particular page, right? And as you can see now, the robot's entering all the customer data, right? And then since it's entered the customer data, now it's time to order or put in the order. And now it's entering one by one the products that this customer wants to order. And as you can see there, it's now on the last item in the order. It took the robot less than 1 minute to accomplish a process that would have taken me 5. So this again is our ability to help increase the productivity of your staff and make your processes more efficient so that you can serve your customers better. Thank you for listening. We can move on to the next track. If you're interested to learn more about RPA, do stay on for the breakout sessions. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Matthew. Okay, next to present the data visualization. Oh, before I go forward, just to remind everyone who might not be available who was not around in the earlier part of the presentation, we have breakout rooms at the end. So after the presentation of these 5 tracks and USME, we'll be having a Q&A session where we will address all the questions that you have written inside the Q&A box. After that, you can join the breakout rooms. So there are 1 breakout room for track 1 and 2, and track 3 and 4 and 5 will have 3 individual breakout rooms. So you can join those breakout rooms and deep dive into those tracks. Okay. So to present the next track, which is the data visualization track, we have a company called DataVis. So DataVis is a company committed to empowering organizations in their digital transformation journey from strategic planning with complex predictive analytics models to automate highly menial operational performance reporting routines, all via a single extensible analytics and visualization platform. Yeah, so here to introduce all that is the director from DataVis, Mr. Putra Sadi. Mr. Putra, please.
Thank you very much. Just to check, are you able to see my slide?
Yeah, we can see your slide.
All right, great. All right, thank you everyone, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putra Sadi. I'm from DataVis, and I'll be introducing to you a little bit more about the DataVis platform itself, as well as the data analytics and visualization track. So this is really about not only the visualization part of it, but how do you actually execute your analytics requirements together with how you want to visualize the data, right? So I think for most of your, essentially every single one of the participating SMEs here, you are here because you have decided to embark on this digital transformation journey. And you may be at different parts of the spectrum. You may be starting out just collecting data, or you may have already put in place different systems to automate, to optimize, say, digital marketing, to get customer data from your membership base, or to get even your POS or transactional data within the organization itself, right? But whatever it is, all of this are about generating data. And a very key aspect of being able to excel and succeed in this digital transformation journey is to be able to make sense of this data. And this is essentially what the analytics and visualization track is really all about, right? And effectively, the data analytics visualization is all about creating value, right? And it is especially critical when we are looking at being in one of very economically challenging times for us, right? During this pandemic period. It is going to be a time where we are looking at lower business volume, and this is a time where we are starting to ask ourselves, where else can we find business? Where else can we find opportunities? Where are the gaps that we have? And these are all probably hidden in the data. And this is what the data analytics and visualization track is trying to help you with, taking data from all these different data sources, whether is it the data that is a byproduct of your automation of processes, whether is it from your efforts in digital marketing, whether is it in your POS and transaction data, and all of this into pipelines so that this will be able to help support your business decisions, help you have better awareness of where you stand as a business, and help you identify different insights and discover opportunities, right? So effectively, the database platform is an analytics and visualization platform that takes data from many different data sources. It can be from Google Sheets, can be from Facebook Analytics, can be from CSV. If you have different databases, it takes all this data from all these different data sources, transforms this data so it can clean, take out white spaces, change formats, partition into different columns, extract different parts of the information. It can map between different data sets, reduce to summation, aggregate them, and ultimately how you visualize them into and interact with this data on a dashboard or reporting format that is taking data from source to insight. So this is essentially the platform, and it's designed to be really simple for SMEs to use, right? It is going to be a single visual environment for all your analytics and visualization requirements. And that is about using a web browser like Chrome. You enter your credentials, come online, and immediately you'll be able to take actions by creating what we call a pipeline. So a pipeline is also very similar to a process flow, but a pipeline in this sense talks about what are the different processes you want to do to affect the data, to clean them or format them, and ultimately how you create this entire set of widgets that you want to show on the dashboard, right? So as an SME, what will this program and platform really help you with? This is really meant to be simple for you to use. So it's meant for a non-technical user. Effectively, it's about being accessible to any of your staff within the organization, from the executive level to your sales manager to your warehouse supervisor. This is meant to be a non-technical click and drag user graphic interface, right? Ultimately, when you create all these data pipelines, this is meant to automate both the data preparation and data reporting process. So what would typically be a week to prepare for your monthly report? All of this will be automated once you have designed how the pipeline will look like. And this is really about saving time. Ultimately, right, when you have a single platform that brings together capabilities to clean the data, ingest the data from multiple sources, put them on a visualization output like a report or a dashboard, this entire stack all in one platform is meant to help lower your total cost of having this data analytic capabilities. So in the future, when you have this, ultimately after the playbook, right, this is meant for you to expand into your other business units. You can share data between finance and your logistics counterpart. For example, trying to identify where your inventory levels are when you have different marketing data or your marketing campaigns are coming in. And this can be designed for both the higher C-level executive, right down to your operational tactical, right down to, say, the person manning your branch, or right down to someone in the warehouse. And this can also be ultimately enriched with other kind of data. So if weather data is something that affects your business, this can be input as well, right? So hopefully you can find out a little bit more. I'll be sharing a little bit more on the demo, and this is where you can ask a little bit more questions, and we can meet up in a breakout session in a bit. With this, I'll hand this over back to Isa. Thank you very much.
Right, thanks, Putra. Okay, next to present on the MS Power Automate software, we have Josen with us. So Josen is a highly technical and capable person. He's an experienced certified IT instructor with over 10 years of experience in training IT professionals, technical and consultancy, system integration, analysis, and application development. he had prior experience with deployment of various real-life applications of information management system for various sectors, namely government, education, and healthcare. So, Josen, please.
Yeah, thank you, Isa, for the nice introduction. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you check with you, Isa? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, and I can see your screen as well.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josen Santorcas. I'm a full-time trainer working for NTUC. I'm delivering programming courses and database courses for most of our corporate clients. I'm here to tell you something about Power Automate and the wonders of Power Automate and how you can actually use it for your organization. Now, one of the crucial elements of companies nowadays is what we call as business process management. So business process management is a discipline of making your business process fast and efficient by means of automation. A very prominent example of this would be, say, document approval, where a certain document has to go through different types of recipients for the purpose of either approval or rejection. Another example of this would be, say, employee onboarding process. Whereas a company, right, you want your employees, okay, you want your system to, for example, say to automate trying to find out a perfect candidate for the right job and then making an offer to these candidates. So these are the key essential elements of many companies nowadays, okay, automation tasks. But there's a challenge, there's a problem. The big challenge actually is all of these automation tasks can only be created by experts in the field, meaning as a company, you have to get the expertise of someone with programming background, with use of programming background, using complicated programming languages. Aside from that, you also have to give these experts expensive tools to use to do their task. So that is why business automation task is inaccessible and expensive for many companies to use. But then we have a solution. And this is what Power Automate is. Okay, Power Automate is something we call as a self-service process management tool. So the word self-service pertains to the fact that now, for the first time ever, even end users, so end users who doesn't have any programming background, who doesn't have any technical expertise, okay, no coding background, but be able to use Microsoft Excel, for the first time ever, they will now be able to ask these end users to build complex process for your organization, okay? Now, the good thing with this actually is we can take this business process out of the hands of the experts and then bring down all these automation tools to our end users. So the good thing with this actually is it's not expensive anymore. You don't have to use any complicated tools anymore and so on and so forth. So one of the primary objectives of Power Automate is to actually create citizen developers. So citizen developers means these are end users who doesn't have any programming background, as I was saying before, but still be able to create productive applications for your organizations. Okay, and this is an amazing benefit for many companies, especially if you have issues with acquiring IT technologies on your company. Now, obviously, for this to be something possible, we have to make Power Automates as simple to use as possible. So meaning, someone should be able to create a complicated business process without doing any coding, without using any complicated tools, and so on and so forth. Now, this thing about building citizen developers, as I was saying before, is one of the themes for many companies nowadays. In fact, even the government is pushing everyone, every companies to go towards this direction. Okay, so what is Power Automate in general? So as I was saying, this is something that you can use if you want to automate, like basically workflows or robotics. If you want to automate the distribution of your documents, if you want your document to go through certain levels of business processes like approval or rejection. And then finally, if you want to upload those documents into a certain dashboard, so everyone can just log in into a dashboard and be able to track down the progress of that document and other business processes. Now, obviously, Microsoft has made Power Automate accessible to many companies. Okay, so what you can see in this slide, yeah, if you want to acquire a Power Automate, If your company already has a Microsoft Office 365 associated for your end users, Power Automate should be already associated on that license. But if you don't have yet any Microsoft Office 365 on your company, then you can buy the product separately. So what you can see on this slide, okay? So there are different types of license plan for the Power Automate. We have the per user plan, where you have to acquire a license for each and every user that's connecting to the Power Automate. Then we have the the per user plan with RPA. This is one of the big improvement that Microsoft has done for Power Automate. Okay, Microsoft has incorporated some robotic workflows into it, like what Matthew has mentioned before. So Microsoft has sort of integrated a robotic workflow into it. Okay, so aside from building a business workflow, you will now be able to automate your data inputs and interactions with certain applications. Okay, so now if you are an organization with tons of users, like 1,000 users, you can actually avail of the peripheral plan, which is what you can see here. It's about $500 US. Now, obviously, the pricing can change. So the best way to find out the pricing of these licenses is to go and check out the Microsoft website. Okay, so it's not that expensive to acquire. So Microsoft has made that pretty affordable. Okay, compared to back in the old days where you have to use really complicated tools to build this workflow. Okay, back in the old days, I remember using expensive tools like Visual Studio applications. You have to use complicated programming languages like C# or Visual Basic or SQL Server to do something like this. But now, it didn't have to go that far. In our own company, NTUC, we actually have trained our users to be proficient in the use of Power Automate. Now, our end users can actually create really complicated business tasks. So we don't have to ask our experts to do certain things for us anymore. Since users are the best person to know the requirements of the business, they can create their own complicated business process. So most of our forms are now being created by our end users. Okay, most of our business tasks are now being created by end users. Now, even though we have our own experts, okay, the only purpose of having our experts is to manage our solutions, to keep an eye on these users if they're doing the right thing for our business. Okay, but most of our automation tasks are now being done by our end users. Okay, now to walk you through an end-to-end solution on how you can take advantage of the Power Automate, just like other tools out there in the planet, okay, Power Automate is an online solution. So meaning you don't have to install anything on your machine. Okay, all you have to do is to open up the web browser. Yeah, just open up the web browser. Then if you have an Office account, Office 365 account associated on your email, you can just open up your email and then open up Microsoft Flow. Now, the good thing about using Microsoft Office 365 is that a lot of Microsoft applications are available to you by default. Okay, aside from Microsoft Flow, okay, aside from Power Automate, because Power Automate is mostly associated with business forms. So meaning, if you want to have an end-to-end solution where you can take advantage of the wonders of Power Automate, you have to have first a business form. Okay, you have to have an e-form. So the e-form will be accessible to an end user that has to fill it out. Okay, so the e-form will be the one that will trigger the Power Automate workflow. So the scenario actually is when the users fills up the business form, that business form will not be submitted by the end users. Upon submitting of the business form, that will trigger the Power Automate workflow. So the workflow will not be the one to set up the entire business process of what? An example of that would be if you have to send the business form to an end users for approval by email, they will not be able to actually do it. So after the user approves the business form, then you want the business form to be uploaded into a dashboard like say SharePoint server, they'll be able to actually do it. So once the business form has been uploaded into a SharePoint server, all of this is happening via Power Automate. Your users will now be able to check out the contents of this dashboard and then be able to find out the progress of the submission. Okay, so all this without doing any coding at all. Okay, without doing any programming. But then again, if a company has experts, and then you want to enhance the capabilities of your Power Automate workflow, there's actually a way to enhance the capabilities by typing some code. Okay, okay, by doing some coding, especially for those who are .NET developers using C# or Visual Basic. It is something that you can actually do, okay? Let's see what this is. Okay, I'll go to a workflow by clicking on the My Flows, and then when I click on the new item, yeah, one of the benefit of using Power Automate is that we have existing templates that you can use as a head start. So meaning you don't have to start from scratch. Okay, all you have to do is to select the template that you want to use from the web page. You can see here that the templates are available for different industries. If you're into bank, if you're into financials, manufacturing firms, you will not be able to actually do it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I want to show you more. And if you have any, again, if you want to have any questions, or if you want to tap on the capability of Power Automate, you can go down to a breakout session room and then ask those questions. Yeah, thank you, Isaac.
Right, thanks, Joseph. Okay, so we have just covered all the 5 tracks of that makes up this program. So I think from what I've heard, it's obviously a great program for an SME to start digitalizing meaningfully. So, to summarize, the technology that we have chosen has real impact on your KPIs. It's very quick to implement. There are courses that are to upskill your staff so that they know how to use the technology. And in the implementation stage, there's help from Yan Poly to implement the technology itself. And then very amazingly, the license that you need, the software license that you need, is also packaged into the solution. So it's certainly an amazing way for you to start digitalizing. So before we go to the Q&A session, we have Miss Evelyn Poe from USME to introduce the funding that SMEs can leverage on. So allow me to just tell you more about what USME is. So USME is established in 2014 by NTCU SME, which is a labor movement initiative to help small and medium-sized enterprise to value add their businesses and take care of their workers. By working with SME business leaders and human resource practitioners, USME strives to meet the objective of making every SME workplace a better SME workplace, every SME job a better job, every SME worker a better worker. Okay, so yeah, Miss Evelyn Poe, please.
Hi, afternoon. I think this is quite a long afternoon. So let's make it. I'll do a very short presentation. Yeah, about USME. Yes, basically for USME, I think everybody see my slide? Can hear me, right?
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay,
Evelyn.
Sure.
A bit louder will be better, yeah? A little bit louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So just do a quick one to say that what is USME about? USME, we are one part of the NTUC. We are in charge of all the SME within the labor movement. So we are established in 6 years ago in 2014. It was because that SMEs employ 72% of Singapore workforce. So right now, especially right now, with all the COVID-19 situation, having a work is important to the workers. So for us, we believe that when we work with the SMEs, then we can help to take care of the SME workers. So right now, we have more than 300 individual MOE that signed with both the industry associations, which are some of them that we are listed over here, and also with the SMEs itself. Yep. So maybe you'll be asking, so what can we do with all the rest of the agency, all those things? Basically, what we can do a fair bit of this advisory, especially on compliance issues. Maybe that the company may not be very sure of all the what are the things that to be done and not be done. And then if let's say if there are any disputes within the company, we can come in to advise both the employer and the employees. And then the other part is that we can also advise on some of the grants. Of course, there are a lot of SME grants now, but maybe there are too many grants, and then some of the SME might be a bit confused on the kind of grants that's available. So we can help to kind of advise them what are the grants that are available. So today, specifically today, we're talking about the training support. I think you have heard about all the courses, the the one that we shared earlier on the course. So you'll be wondering that then, other than SSG support, how can NTUC come in to further reduce the price, the costing incurred by the company? So today I'll just touch on both. One is the enhanced NCF and the other one is the NCF Lite. One is for the unionized company and the other one is for non-unionized company. So for the NCF Lite, enhanced NCF, the NETF Collaborative Fund is for unionized company, and we can fund the 50%, up to 50% of the unfunded part of the cost. So this year, the employees must be active NTUC members throughout the training. And for this year, the cap for NCF for a company is 50,000 instead of the usual 30,000. And then let's say you tell me that, okay, if my company is not unionized, are we able to help you? You can also tap on this thing called an NCF Lite. NCF Lite is for non-unionized company, but the company must have at least 50 or more active union members, and the employees have to be active NTUC members during the training. Let me give you an example so that you understand more about using NCF. Let's say that your employee Amy wanted to take this course called WSQ Adapt to Change, and the full course fee is $300. With SSG supports, the course fee after funding is $30, and SCF can fund $15 for the union member. So at the end of the day, the company will pay only 15 plus GST of $21 of $36 each. And right now, because you can claim the enhanced absentee payroll, so there's more money that means that it will be cheaper for the company to send the staff for training. So likewise for the cost that's being shared earlier on, you can also claim NCF to help to further reduce the cost that's being incurred by the company. So how do you kind of apply for NCF or NCF Lite? It's quite straightforward. Basically, is that you just need to fill out NCF application form, and if you're unionized, you submit to your union. If you're not unionized, you can submit to myself or some of our other colleagues, and then we will process the application form. The application form as cost approval within like 2 weeks. Then after that, we improve the company of the application outcome. Once you're being informed, then you're being approved, that you can proceed to send the employees for training. And then how do you submit? After the course, then you submit within 3 months, you submit the application form, the email, and all the invoice and the necessary documents to us, and then we will process process and then do the reimbursement in about 4 weeks time. Yeah, I think it's just a very short presentation on how you can further support companies who are interested to take up the course. Yeah, that's all. Back to you, Isa.
All right, thanks, Evelyn. Okay, so we are now at a Q&A session. Again, to remind everyone, after the Q&A session, and we have a few questions here. If you want to ask more questions, please type into the Q&A box. It's a Zoom feature. It's at the bottom of your Zoom window. There's a Q&A button. You can click there, and then you can just type in your questions there. Yeah, so we have 4 questions currently. The first one, if we don't have 5 packs, what is costing like then? So maybe that question can go to Anthony.
Okay, so we hope where possible, companies can have at least 5 packs. For example, if it's about collaboration and communication, and if it's just for one pack or even three packs, we have you know, we're looking at the number of licenses that we can issue to a company. So, for example, like RPA, we're looking at 5 pack because we have bundled all these together, so it becomes affordable. So if there are some strong reasons for you to send less than 5 packs, probably you can probably write to us, and then we'll see what we can do to see whether or not we can accommodate such requests. Yeah. So it's on a case by case basis.
Okay, terrific. Okay, the next question is anonymous. Okay, hi, I am from a construction company, and recently we set up the training department. Now I'm interested in digitizing most of my internal training courses for my staff in the company. Please advise a platform where they can go in anytime to register courses of their course of their interest and do the course of their own. Thanks. Yeah, so I guess they are from the, they want to digitalize their education or training department. So maybe this question can go to
Matthew, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew, or maybe FinLab as well. Who?
So yeah, on the UiPath side, obviously, one of the ways to, get started in RPA is to attend what's on offer at the moment, which is a package of training plus the initial license fee for the first year. And I think I'll encourage everyone to do that. At the same time, UiPath actually has an online learning platform called UiPath Academy. So after you've attended that training, um, it conducted by NTUC Learning Hub as part of this SME Digital Reboot plan, is you can also go to our website to further your learning. And if you're a customer of UiPath, one of the things that we can do is export our training courses that we provide online, and those can then be imported into the LMS platform used by that construction company. But it has to, of course, be SCORM compliant, because this sort of standard in this LMS platforms called SCORM, SCORM. Our courses are SCORM compliant. So if your LMS is also SCORM compliant, then you can do that immediate import. So that's one of the things that we can offer to our paying customers.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll just add, thanks, Isa. So I think if you're a company that has digitalization requirements that goes beyond the 5 pillars, then you are definitely welcome to come and join us for the FinLab Online, where through the FinLab Online program, we can also curate and shortlist relevant tech solutions that could solve your problem statements. So I think yours is quite a specific one. If you want to discuss further, maybe you can drop us an email at info@thefinlab, and then we will respond to you. Yeah, or you can stay behind. I think one of my teammates will be staying behind in this room. Or if you want to go into the breakout room and then catch us later, just drop us an email. info@thefinlab. Thank you.
Okay, great. The next question is pretty clearly for Matthew. Hi, can I know if RPA requires a special software, or can it be done by using Microsoft Office like Excel?
Yeah, so it does require a special software, which is the UiPath RPA platform. You basically have a user interface, kind of like what I showed earlier, called UiPath Studio, where you do the development of the automation. And then when you're running the automation, you need UiPath robots. I'll actually explain more if you join the breakout session. So what happens is, if you're automating a process, it could be, the robot could be reading from an Excel file, interacting with your Outlook to send emails on your behalf. It could be, maybe creating a Word document pre-populated with customer info from an Excel, so that you can also automate maybe the creation of correspondences that you're sending to hundreds of people. So yeah, there's very good integration with the Microsoft Office suite, but it does require a special software, which is the software that we provide.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew. And if I may just add, right, typically one barrier for SME to adopt technologies like this is, again, software licenses. But this program is very attractive in that manner. The software licenses is packaged into the program and it's funded. So it's quite nice. So do go join Matthew's breakout room if you are very interested to know more. Yeah. So the last question from Paul to you is, we are a non-unionized company and we don't have more than 50 staff also. So is there, what can we use then? I think this is on the USME presentation. Solomon, might you want to answer that?
Yeah, I'll be taking this question. And so thank you, Paul, for the interest in the NCF. So for your company-wise, I think all the SMEs are very different in terms of size. So perhaps I can take this offline with you. I will share my email in the chat room. You can drop me an email. We'll speak more about what other support we can get for your company. Okay.
Okay, terrific. Jensen, if you may, you can share that slide, right, which has the registration QR code. Oh, we have one more question that just came in. When we switch to your flow, does it mean we have to abandon our current software? Like, for example, we have Zoho, CRM, and G Suite, etc. So, okay, this is dependent on the technology that you are adopting, but I bet it is referring to RPA. So maybe Matthew, you can answer this question. So he's asking, if we switch to your flow, does it mean we have to abandon our current software like Zoho, CRM, and G Suite?
No, it's actually RPA just automates the process or it automates the activities that people would have done. Like, for example, if part of my responsibility is open my G Suite email, right? Download attachments from the email and then enter those information in Zoho CRM. Those solutions that you already own need to continue to exist because they're part of your business process. RPA is just sort of a way for you to automate what I would have done manually.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matthew. Okay, I think we come to the end of this section, and after this, it'll be the breakout rooms. Jensen, if you may, you have to share the slides. Okay, firstly, okay, so if you want, you'll be thinking, okay, this program is exciting. There's a lot of incentive for me to obviously join this program. So how can I do it? The first step is very simple. You just use this QR code and fill up the form that we have inside. What we'll do is we will call every one of you individually, and we can have a deeper conversation on your needs. Obviously, there's a few steps to it. So perhaps I'll leave this here for another 5 or 10 seconds for you to take out your phone and go and get the URL. Okay, I think we can now go to the next slide. Okay, now it's time for us to do the breakout rooms. So let's say you go like, Issa, I got certain technologies that I'm more interested to know more of. Then these rooms are designed for that. You can go in and then have a two-way conversation with the people who just presented just now. So for track 1 and 5, which is just digital marketing, and digital communication and collaboration, the first two presentations that you heard of just now, you can use the Zoom link. It's on the chat. You don't have to type this out. It's on the chat. You can just copy and paste into your browser. The next one is track 2, which is workflow automation, which is the last one. This is not the RPA. This is Josen's one. So this is, sorry, just to confirm that, right? Josen, this is yours, right? Workflow automation.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So you can use that link. Track 3, which is process automation, which is Matthew, the RPA one. You can use this URL. And lastly, data processes and visualization, which is the one that Putra presented just now. You can go through to this room. Thanks for attending our webinar. I hope it has been informative and useful for you. We hope that you can embark on this journey for us to digitalize. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. I'll leave this screen up for the next couple of minutes so that you can take your time and click. But feel free to leave the room. Yeah, Jensen, you want to show the QR code? Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Um,
Yeah. Hi, Mary. I think that the person that you should be speaking to, because okay, the current tracks that we have here are the ones that you saw, right? They are like predefined solutions lah, that they have. Yours, on the other hand, is a specific thing where you might want a training solution, and I think it's better for you to not go for any of these track, but rather to talk to Will or anyone from FinLab. I think from there they can advise you further. So Will, you might want to, yeah.
Hi, Mary. I just sent a link to you and all the panelists. Maybe you can just join there. So I'm just going to go to that Zoom link right now. Yeah. So I hope you are still here. Then you could just go over there. Yes, Joakim, why are you in this room? The person isn't here, unfortunately. But, huh? Sorry, did you